Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Okay, here we go. Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday to you. Welcome to the 22nd day of June. I nearly said August. What was that? Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everybody. I'm so happy to be here with you. I'm Lauren Michaels-Harris, and you found your way, thank goodness, into today's episode of Bathrobe Moments. This is a place where we come together to start our day in the best way possible by fulfilling the promise that where two or more of us come together, something wonderful is bound to happen. And that's what happens right here. And I'm so glad that I'm sharing it and holding space and being held by all of you, for you, through you, with each other. This is the power of we, a modern day stone soup experience. I'm so excited. You know, I usually start off with a little bit of a monologue about whatever's happening in the world today and whatnot. And this morning, I wanted to do something just a little different. Our guest, Ross McCreary, is on his way. He's in Saskatchewan, Canada, and had the time zones mixed up a little bit, but he should be here shortly. But in the meantime, I wanted to share something with you all today. It's a little reading, and it is from one of my favorite books, The Motivation Manifesto, which I have to take all these Post-it notes off the front. So I'll just lift it so you can see, by Brendan Burchard, a really great guy, friend. And this book is really, it says 9 declarations to claim your personal power. And today I wanted to share something from there. I'm feeling kind of a certain kind of way today. Whenever I find myself struggling with adhering to the 4 agreements, being impeccable with my word, not taking things personally, not making any assumptions, and striving to always, always, always do my best. Sometimes, because we're human, we're fallible. We are going to struggle from time to time, but we are bruised, if anything, and never broken. I want you to remember that. That's the bell of purpose. It means when you hear it, something wonderful is happening, something great is being shared. Take a look, lean in, take it home with you. Receive that, won't you please? Can I get an amen? And let me get Lucy out of the way because I don't want to interrupt this, and I'm sure Ross will be here. I'm hoping he will be. Help me welcome to the show, as we always do, this time every day, my sidekick, my version of Ed McMahon. This is my Lucy McGillicuddy. Ricardo, how are you? Beautiful day here in the Chicagoland area. How are things shaping up in your neck of the woods? Oh, before I do the reading, I wanted to thank all of you. We just had oodles and oodles. How often do you hear that? Oodles and oodles of concerned wellness check texts and calls yesterday because of the tornado right here in our town of Naperville, night before last. We did see on the news, the entire local news was dedicated to the damage that was done. A lot of homes were lost. Luckily, no one was injured or lost their lives during that. It touched down and just tore up an entire section of our town. But thank God we were on this side. But boy, when I went out after the show, I didn't realize until after I closed the show yesterday, I went out on our deck. All of our umbrellas were lifted up. They're weighted down. They have those like 35, 40-pound weights that you screw the pole in. Those are just thrown everywhere. And even the ones out on the side yard that go through the center of the table with the weight down, they pulled up through there, tossed around like rag dolls. So Mother Nature has been definitely getting her gym in because boom, she has got some guns on her. She threw stuff everywhere, but thank God we're safe and no one was hurt. So, hey, that's nature. It speaks what it needs to speak to get us to hear what we need to hear. So think about that. I'm gonna let that stay there for a moment. So on to the reading. This is for all of us today. I wanted to take a moment of personal development to pour into our day from the beginning while we're waiting on Ross. So I thought I'd share something with you. This chapter, Declaration 5 of the 9, is entitled, We Shall Practice Joy and Gratitude. What a wonderful way to start the day. It goes a little like this. We have been gifted with a divine vitality and the accompanying powers of will, strength, and enthusiasm. Yet, where is the energized, heightened, exhilarated pulse we would expect from such a chosen and capable people? Why do we not hear more laughter in life? Where is the vibrant, mad fury and stunning passion of the fully engaged human? Where are the shining souls whose hearts beat with racing enthusiasms? Where are the magnetism and the fire? Where are the gratitude, the joy, the spark, and the charge? What happened to that miraculous life energy that brought us into existence? It seems that a great tidal wave of cynicism and pessimism has washed ashore and drowned the dreams of our people. The emotional energy of the world is flatlining. We can see this strained life energy in a stunning number of people's eyes and faces, in their conduct and conversations. There is no vitality, no freedom, and no positivity in their attitude. Look how their faces seemed too weathered, sallow, and stern for their age. Listen to how their conversations sound quiet and resigned like whispers from a tired, disbanding tribe. Broaden the view and notice that most of our culture's buzz and excitement comes from a mass hysteria surrounding newfound opportunities for wealth or from the manufactured lives of the celebrity elite. Ours has become a world where a tragic number of people are more fascinated by materialism and the lives of distant narcissists than by their own life experiences. Humans are not destined to be lazy, tired, greedy, boring creatures of gross abundance splashed before us today with such sensationalism. Sadly, from afar, it would appear that many people have been resigned, that they have given up their remarkable potential, that they are consenting to creep instead of soar, that they risk turning into a culture of slow, moving, low, aiming, negativity spewing brats and blamers. One by one, we are seeing so many people for whom we care get sucked into the awful whirlpool of negativity. The energy of all this, well, it's palpable, and it must be our imperative to change that. It must be a main aim of our lives to rekindle the magic of life. We mustn't live in the darkness of our doubts, the shadows of the joyless, or the clutches of the energy vampires. Let us remember that life's purpose is to live freely, vibrantly, joyously, madly, conscientiously, lovingly, enthusiastically. Our nature gives us an intrinsic charge for such a life, and it is time to fire it once more. We are to be radiant, grateful, buoyant people, basking in our blessings and striving cheerfully toward our dreams under the bright and loving sunshine of the divine. It takes only will and conditioning to enjoy such a life. Let us make the choice to re-examine our attitude and orientation to life, to cultivate a more positive and present pulse. Let us declare that we shall practice joy and gratitude. And there it is. I wanted to share that. I needed it. I receive it. And for those of you under my voice today and those with the replay coming later, I hope that this touches you, uplifts you, encourages you, and it is something that you will gladly and freely pass to someone else along your journey. So there we go. So Ross MCCRERY was just calling me, which what we're going to do, let me just give you a little background on Ross, and then I'm going to call him back. Clearly he's having trouble getting in. So I got a little video about what he's here about today. So while I'm playing that, then I'll try to help him get in. But here it is. In 2006, Ross MCCRERY was diagnosed with the rare disease known as CRPS, stands for Complex Regional Pain Syndrome. With few treatments and no cure for the debilitating chronic pain condition, Ross noticed a need in the community and increasingly engaged in advocacy efforts. Now, by 2016, he founded CRPS Awareness Day in the province of Saskatchewan. The purpose of this initiative is to educate the public and raise awareness for those living with the disease. Ross also serves as a board member for the SaskPain, must be short for Saskatchewan, SaskPain Foundation, as a patient family advisor. In this role, he hopes to help improve and change the lives of those living with chronic pain. I had a brother-in-law a couple of years ago took his own life because of chronic pain. And I wonder if it was CRPS or he just didn't know, but that's what happened. So we want to talk about that, learn more about that, and learn how we can help those who suffer from it and the people who suffer right along with them. Can I get an amen? Right? So I'm going to let you guys watch this little video while I try to help our friend Ross MCCRERY make his way in. Okay, so sit back, take a look at this, and I'll be right back. Hold on. Okay. There it is. Okay, here we go. Blow this up for you.
I feel like I got hit by a truck. Like a truck just ran over your body. Every single part of your body hurts. You have no energy whatsoever.
I can't regulate my temperature, and the pain and burning is so beyond my ability to think and press through in other areas.
When the pain is that bad, sometimes, it's just really hard to see any glimmer of hope out there.
I was hit with a baseball when I was 14 years old. It hit me right back in the face when I was pitching and broke my nose, shattered my cheekbones, and it led to CRPS in the face, upper body, head, ears, all of that. But we didn't know that at the time. It took 19 years before I got a diagnosis.
In 2004, I sprained my ankle, and I knew instantly that this was a different kind of sprain. The pain was just absolutely through the roof. An intense pain, like a burning beyond anything that I'd ever imagined. And then such a hypersensitivity, like I couldn't have anything touching me at all. When those symptoms started just randomly showing up in other limbs, it became, it was just a nightmare.
Initially, you feel a little bit crazy. because the pain is so strange. It hurts if you're sleeping or not sleeping more appropriately. It hurts if you're sitting in a chair. It hurts if you have the affected body part elevated. It's kind of a stinging, burning pain.
For about 6 months, I kind of got passed doctor to doctor, trying to figure out, what was happening. And I had 2 kids at home that were under 5, and trying to maneuver life and figure out what was happening. And I had no idea that this would end up being, a journey that I would be going through for the rest of my life.
A lot of what you do is try to anticipate and react. There are times where you can't, and you have to be sympathetic and understanding. And in many cases, that's hard because you don't know what they're going through.
The hardest thing about raising kids when you have CRPS, you have my dreams, my visions for them and for our life. They've never changed. And you have to adapt.
Wow. Did you know about this thing? I'm sure many of you did. Yesterday, after I posted the promo of Ross, who's still trying to get in here, by the way, you guys, I want to share something with you. I'm just going to read it. It's on my page if you'd like to see. I put the little promo on. Well, one of our friends, one of my husband's schoolmates from high school, Kelly Baumgartner, we had no idea. Even Brian said he didn't know. But she says this. She says, "Thank you for sharing this, Lauren. I was diagnosed with CRPS, previously known as RSD. I never heard of that either. Back in 2012. Kudos to your friend for starting this initiative and bringing attention to this silent, horribly crippling disorder. It not only takes a toll on you physically, but mentally. The constant pain kicks your ass. It creeps its way into every facet of your life, work, home, sleep." Now, oh my goodness. Work, home, sleep, or hold on 1 second, you guys. Okay. Could you guys hear my typing? Was that the equivalent of when you use capitals? Okay, here we go. I forgot where I was. What is also she goes, "It takes the joy out of simple life tasks and moments. What is also disturbing is the way people afflicted with this pain are treated." Now that is interesting because frequently, she says, there are no outward obvious signs of illness, such as you would have with a broken bone, for instance. People often think that we are exaggerating or fabricating this illness. Because my treatment was delayed due to workman's comp issues, I am left with the progression of this disorder throughout my body. I refused to start on the opiate path. What did she say? With opiate path, so I am left with little help. Again, thank you for sharing this with the world. It is truly appreciated. And here, I had no idea whatsoever. What is Ross saying? Tell me where to go. I'm trying to join, but I have... Okay. Hold on, you guys. Live television. Okay, that's that. Okay, if you can't make it in, we're just going to have to do our own thing today because we just do. We're here and we're not going to go anywhere until 9 o'clock Central. So anyway, CRPS. Let me see what you guys are saying about this, if anything. Good morning, everyone. How are you? Look at all these beautiful people. Lori Whitney, good morning. Sherry McQueen. Oh, let me just hit some stuff here. Good morning. Robert Brooker, good morning. Sherry McQueen, good morning to you. Bernadette, how are you? So happy to see your face. I love your profile picture. Oh my God, it's just so beautiful. Good morning, Dr. Fortman, Janice Hooker Fortman, how are you? If anyone, Adam Duvall, how are you? If anyone is interested, in case our guests can't make it, in coming in, and just sitting here and having a conversation about whatever comes up. I'd be open to that if you guys are. I used to really get, oh, Lori Whitney, did you say you had this? Oh, so Lori, you know something about this, huh? Well, look who's here. Y'all, hold on. Can we bow our heads, please, for a word of prayer? Because you guys, I mean, come on, now, listen, let's put it like this. If you had worked out and you had Thanksgiving dinner already on the table and stuff, and then, hold on, so shall we? Dear Jesus. Okay, I'm stopping because there might be some Muslims or somebody that doesn't even believe in Jesus watching. Dear greater than, give this day to us to do something wonderful with. Well, you've already done that. Scratch that. Everybody, listen. You see the reading today, right, about gratitude. So let's just be grateful for what is. As they say, shit's going to happen, right? But you know what? Keep it moving. The now is all that matters. The future in front, the past behind. But where are we? Right here in the now. So we know everything about Ross. I have told you. I will add the rest of it because I see he is in the green room. Ross also says, this was the part I was saving, his other advocacy efforts include speaking engagements and serving as a voice for other rare disease and chronic pain sufferers who don't have that ability. He's also the author of several published pieces and has appeared in televised programs. Also, Ross believes in the power of a strong community of rare disease advocates with diverse voices, which encourages change and progress for all. Therefore, through working with organizations such as Outrun Rare, International Pain Foundation, and the Rare Disease Foundation, Ross remains well connected with rare disease and chronic pain communities from around the world. So we're going to just get him in here. It is 23 after. We don't have a lot of time, but we have the time we were meant to have. Everything happens on purpose, and therefore we move forward from wherever, with whomever, on purpose. So with that, having said, do what we do, put your hearts into this, put your hearts on the screen as we welcome our guest, Ross McCreary, to the stage.
Yeah. I apologize.
Where you want it, Ross? Where you want it? Tell me how you want it. If you want, I'll go and I'll do like the old days with the cops and go get the yellow pages and roll them up so they don't lose their mind. I'm kidding.
Sure.
Hold on. I'm 59. I don't know how old you are, but let me tell you something. I do not need help having a heart attack, and you nearly gave me one. So there we go.
Well, I'm 51, so
Okay, add 8.
Apologies, because when I looked at our times yesterday, I saw 8 and 9. So I scheduled myself
8 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Eastern. I always put my time in the guest time.
But I don't change my time, so it's actually 7 my time. Like, it's only 7:30 here.
Well, yeah, but you're not in the United States. I don't know other countries' time zones.
Oh, sorry.
No.
So apologies on the time.
Okay. You can just take that shirt you're wearing and mail it to me because I like it.
Oh yeah, I know.
I have one similar, but it doesn't.
That was my Father's Day gift.
Oh, nice. Okay, I won't make you give that one up because I don't want to fight your kids. So how was your Father's Day, Ross?
It was good. I have no complaints. I have 2 kids that are amazing and don't have a lot of time to go into them, but they are making me a very proud father, and it's an honor to be their father. And no, it was a great day. It was a fantastic day. So
great. Well, I'm feeling a little underdressed with that spiffy Father's Day shirt. So there, I'm going to put on something dressy on the screen because I can't go.
Well, and I like the blue theme that you've added there too, right? It picks up on the shirt, and
exactly.
So I know we were going to do something around Rare Disease Day, but we never were able to make things work. So it's nice to be on. Thank you.
Yeah, I think you were trying to bring another person in on that, and so, but now ride solo. You're always going to be there. Well, eventually. I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm done with it. I released the I released these. There we go. Okay. So
Okay, thank you.
because it's not about us, it's about
No.
this disease, CRPS. I read something. You were probably busy trying to get in, but one of our dear friends, one of my husband's high school friends, went on and spoke all about it and said, thank you, thank you, thank you. I have suffered with this since 2012. People think we make it up. There were so many things in there. I was like, how did we not know? But people with CRPS, they don't, it seems like they don't go out talking about it much. When did this, she said it was formerly known as, I think, RDS or something?
No, RSD.
RSD.
RSD, reflex sympathy disorder, is the other name that it has. What a lot of people don't realize is since that first case was diagnosed, which I can't even tell you when that was, but it's had over 20 name changes since the inception of the disease. So
what's that all about?
Right. I mean, that basically tells you right there, as they keep changing the name, how are you supposed to create any type of awareness in regards to it if you keep changing the name of it, right? But it also shows you just how much they don't know about the illness as well, right? And so it's ever evolving, and they're always finding out something new or a new symptom that might be related to it. So with it ever changing like that, it's making it difficult for researchers. I mean, I think a lot of it, as far as the CRPS patients out there that, and to pick up on what you just said there about not talking about it, I think the reason that a lot of CRPS patients aren't talking about it is they don't have the ability to talk about it because they're in so much pain, and I'm high functioning, and I say that because for me, I've got my pain levels relatively well controlled through.
How do you do that?
As I've mentioned before, in the last time that we came, it's a combination of things that I do. It really is developing your own plan. This disease has a way of every person is different as to how they create their own pain management plan and how the disease actually affects you. So for myself, it's a combination of things. I meditate. There's meditation that I do first thing in the morning and first thing at night. A lot of deep breathing relaxes my nervous system.
Where does CRP? I want to get it the acronym right. CRPS. Where does it affect you? Because there's some people's face and their head from injuries, from all kinds of things. You missed the video. They showed a bunch of people.
That's my hand. It is in my left hand. It has caused my finger. I've lost the use of my left hand completely. Now
does this look familiar?
Yep.
Talk about that. I had 100 different. I had everything from nose to ears to face to back to butt to legs to knees to feet. And I chose this one, and then I didn't even know it was your hand. So talk about it.
Yeah.
What are we looking at?
That haunts me when I look at that, because that very much is how my fingers looked on my affected limb when I was first diagnosed. That was the way I was from fingertip right up to shoulder with my arm, and mine was actually a lot more severe. Mine was actually, some of them can look to, there's a lot of disfiguration with some.
That looks like rheumatoid arthritis in some.
Yeah, it really does. And so for myself, it affects my left hand, it affects my left leg. What happened with me is I tore tendons in my left ankle, and it went down into my left ankle as well. So those
what
are
we
two.
Looking at here? It looks like there's swelling. It looks painful to the touch. It looks hot. It looks
Right,
like
and
it's an infection. I mean, it looks like a lot of things, but that doesn't even come close to what this person is feeling. What does
no,
that
and
feel like?
it's a feeling that is extremely hard to describe because it is a burning searing pain that a person gets. Every CRPS patient varies a little bit. I get shooting, stabbing pains that also come with the burning sensation that I have.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a waxiness. You can almost see that shine that a person's skin has. There's a waxiness to it. There's hair loss. There's very, very sensitive to touch and to temperature.
One of the testimonials in that little video I showed while we were waiting, the woman said, "It's so horrible." She goes, "You're in pain even when you're sleeping."
Yes. Yeah. I mean, some people are. For myself, I have issues with sleep, so I can't sleep because there's so much pain. So it will wake me up out of a dead sleep. I will, because I don't get into REM sleep anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's how severe it is, and so there's a lot of insomnia that people deal with. Mm-hmm. And so sleep is, I mean, touch is a huge one, and I think a lot of it with sleep is if you have an affected limb and you roll over and you're asleep, right, you that touch is enough to wake you up, and I can't describe it.
Well, let's roll over to this one. Okay, you were originally diagnosed in 2006. When did this disease start coming to the forefront? When did people start giving it one of the 25 names or how many ever it's had? So when did it first show up where we were talking about it? Because I mean, I'm sure it's been around. What did they call it back in the day?
You know what?
What did people think it was?
I wish I knew the name back in the day, but what I can tell you is it goes back as far as the Civil War is what I am in. That's when apparently the first case was diagnosed. Now,
so you don't inherit this; it's not congenital. How does it find a person? What triggers it?
That's half the fight right there. Is they don't know, and they're not doing the research into it. It's a fight that I have day in, day out. We are such a small rare disease group because from what I've heard in the US, it's a group of under 200,000. We don't even have a number here in Canada that I've been able to find, and it's frustrating. But when you are part of such a small rare disease community and group, they don't get behind it and do the research into it because there's too many dollars tied up in trying to research it. And I think things are slowly starting to come here. When I look at where I was in 2006 and where we are now in 2021, I think in my particular city, and I'm a city of 350,000, 360,000 people. Mm-hmm. In my particular city, when I was first diagnosed, I was one of 20 cases in the province. We're a province of just over a million people.
So, Ross, I'm talking with banana in my mouth. Sorry, y'all. So,
well, Ross, I'll give you a bad time about that. I come on late, and you decide to have breakfast.
Oh, this is Bathrobe Moments. I'm doing everything I would do if I was sitting here by myself. What I used to do before the show, I'd be doing this right now. But I thought, why not do that and do this at the same time? Because then I'm supporting the vision. Right. So let me ask you this. How many times did you have to go to a doctor or seek help? And how many different diagnoses did you get before you got this one?
I went to probably over 12 to 15 doctors, and it was a revolving door of doctors here. I was tested for everything from DVTs, so DVTs being blood clots, if anyone doesn't know what a DVT is, to MS, to cystic fibrosis, to fibromyalgia, to heart disease. I mean, everything under the sun. I was,
Bye, honey. Have a good day.
So
now, there, let's stop there for a second, because I had a little health scare during COVID, and it turned out to really be nothing, thank God. But when you're sitting in between those calls and those MRIs and all those different things where they're poking and prodding, whatever is going through your mind is real to you right now, which is also something I want to speak to as far as chronic pain that people can't put a name on. Because I mentioned before you got here, I had a brother-in-law took his life right before COVID, 2 weeks before COVID hit, from chronic pain, and everybody thought it was all in his head. But I heard a voicemail that he left right before he took his life, and he was in so much pain, it was like he was shivering, when he was talking, and and I was like, I'll never forget. I couldn't even finish listening to it. It was just too much. Yeah. It was too much. So talk about that, about why is it? Because that's what Kelly had mentioned in her post as well, that not only do you deal with the pain, but the way you are treated, because people are like, that's all in his head. Did you experience that, Ross? Where
I experience it daily. I experience it daily. I have one of the things that I'm lucky enough to have a physician that understands, that is willing to work with me and willing to work with my specialist, because I have a neurosurgeon that manages a lot of what I have. I have actual metal components in my body. It's called a neurostimulator that I have implanted in my body to help with the pain. It is one of the known treatments, but that helps with. But we'll get onto that later. To answer that question, I'm lucky enough to have a doctor that understands and is willing to listen, and hear what I'm saying and understand that what's going on up in my head is real, and that it isn't all made up, and that the pain I suffer from is not imaginary, and and the challenge is finding physicians that are willing to listen and that are educated in it, and I'm finding through the work that I do through I'm on the board as a patient family advisor for Sask Pain here in our province. And what I'm finding is that as I work with doctors, we work with doctors, or as we do some of the research that we're doing, because that is part of what I'm doing, an offshoot of the organization that I'm tied to, or one of the organizations that I'm tied to is that there's this research being done to educate doctors and educate that there has to be, that this isn't all in our head.
Right.
But I mean, I meet it every day. I have, I have handicap parking to help me with, because if I can park closer to be able to walk into a store, that's what I need, right? Because
how did you prove that? What did you have to do, since nobody knows about this for the most part? Did you have to jump through unbearable hoops in order to get even that? Because what did they go?
I had to go. Yeah, I had to go through a fair amount to get it. I had to go through a trial with, my doctor had given me a short period of time and then he eventually flipped it into, like I say, I work with a doctor that. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And
so you probably didn't get the handicap status because of the CRPS. You got the handicap status because of something the doctor had to say in order to help you get it, because they wouldn't get it if he didn't.
Right.
Okay.
But I mean, I face it with people. What my point with this was when I walk into a store, I've been approached on the street and a person says, "Well, you don't look very sick." You know, you don't like, because not everything they see
Well,
a hand that might
Neither
be
does the person that has 6 hours to live because they got a brain aneurysm.
right. So I face those challenges all the time when someone comes up to me and says, "Oh, you don't look very sick." You know, well, you don't know what's going on inside my body right now.
Okay, so right now, let's talk about that. Right now, you're sitting there. Here's the pain chart that a lot of us are familiar with. You see them hanging in doctors' offices and whatnot. Right now, as you sit here speaking with us, where on this chart would you say your pain is right now in this moment?
I put myself probably about a 6, 7.
Right
You
now.
know, it's, yeah, I don't feel wonderful. I wake up in the mornings. I haven't taken my medications yet. You know, my medications come a little bit later because they have to be able to span me through the day. So, you know, I don't take them until, 8 o'clock. I mean, I go, there are medications I take throughout the course of the day, but my first round of medications usually don't start until about 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning. But that's how I'll wake up is in a 6 or a 7. And that's where I stay on a good day. My pain level stays comfortable at a 3, 4. And what people don't see in this scale, they look at a pain measure, and this is another thing that we face in if you're hospitalized or is you'll walk in and they'll ask you in an ER, where's your pain level at? And I'll say my pain level's at a 9 or a 10. Well, what people don't realize is that 9 or 10 for me, double it. The pain scale doesn't accurately, if I could speak.
So why wouldn't you say 12?
Well, you do, but they,
They think you're a hypochondriac?
Yes. Yeah.
So,
I'm trying to be diplomatic here
because the truth shouldn't be sugar-coated, and we don't apologize for the truth.
Yeah, exactly.
Looking at this photo, and you said that you dealt with this from the fingertip all the way up to the shoulder. Now, looking at something like that, what would you tell us if we said point to one of these to speak to that hand on stage, looking at the screen on the left? Which one of these would you say that is?
That's hard to say because
when you had it,
when I had it, it was a 12.
Okay.
When I had it, it was a 12. I was writhing in pain, and you have to realize, a lot of people don't realize, I went for the first 2 years. So I was diagnosed in 2006, but in 2005 is when I actually when the symptoms started. And so it went till about mid 2006, almost 2007, before I even had any type of treatment plan, no pain medications, no nothing to help me with trying to manage the pain side of things. So I was just on my own. I was left on my own. No doctor knew what to do. No doctor would prescribe anything.
So what are they doing now? Because here we are, it's 2021.
Yeah, so we're 17 years down the road,
and how
we're
things
7.
How things
and things have changed dramatically because I've put a whole plan in place. Like I mentioned, I have neurostimulators that are implanted in my body now.
For the entire CRPS family, how has it changed? I mean, because
Well,
what I'm getting at is this. I mean, clearly you're sitting in a place with a nice house and, kids that love you, give you shirts and stuff. But what about that person who has this, that's living in the projects? Because I'm sure CRPS does not just, walk around the suburbs and stuff looking for its people.
Right.
So what about the person who has to go to, is dealing with Medicaid or urgent care and this and the other? What are their options?
Their options are very limited right now. Their options right now are really they have medication thrown at them because that's the first go-to, because a lot of doctors still aren't educated in this. And so their easiest option is to write that prescription and say, here you go. I don't have time. You know,
Well,
I don't have time to look into to you know, and manage this case.
personal perspective, would you say from where you sit and all that you've seen, because you've seen a lot and understand it more than we do, but what about this? Do you feel that they're putting more into just drugs to placate people and not enough into awareness to educate people?
Yeah, I would have to agree. It's one of those things where the awareness factor, I mean, it's getting better. It's come a long way. I will give it that. I mean, 17 years along now, when back in the day it wasn't great, but now I would say what is starting to happen is we're seeing this trend of trying to bring the patient into, you know, into be part of the solution and offer, you know, or their lived experience, as we call it, is finally being taken a little bit more seriously. Now, does that mean, like, what I am seeing is that there's more of a blanket of chronic pain in general, not necessarily CRPS,
but chronic
right?
in general, yes.
Right. So that in itself is an issue, but I'll take what I can get. Right. It's starting. You know, what I'm seeing is that other disease spectrum. So you have all these rare diseases, and I am finding that as we come together, as we come together and become one big body of rare disease groups, you know, that in itself is starting to elicit change, because it's drawing awareness to all those small rare diseases.
Do you have anybody in your group offhand, do you remember, that represents Batson's disease?
No.
Christopher Bologna. He comes on the show and we raise funds. His son, Sebastian,
okay,
I think he's 14 or 15, has Batson's. Very rare, just a handful of kids. And I think I should connect you two. Because,
yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, to come together. I would like to ask you how you felt. Probably close to this very time last year, we were inside pretty much, you know, 3/4 of or at least a quarter of the way inside of the pandemic, but already rumorings of vaccines and things. And what did it make you feel like when there's so many of you dealing with so many rare diseases, and because you're a minority, probably the first time in your life you found yourself within the minority as a Caucasian man in this country, or in anywhere, anyways. So let me ask you, how did it make you feel when you see the steam putting behind, okay, because it affects all of us, especially those who have the money, the lobbyists, it's coming home to hit them and their families. So all of a sudden, when they want to get something done, they get it done. But if it's not, if it hasn't made its way to my town, to my neighborhood, to my house, to my family, it can wait, kind of a thing. We'll deal with it when somebody we know has it. What is that? Why do we put so much thrust behind the broad spectrum as if one person suffering from something isn't enough? Why? What is that? What do you think that is? And how did that make you feel when you saw this? I know you had to think about it. Look how fast they can get that done. They can do it if they want to.
Oh, I know. I mean, it's angering, right? It makes me extremely upset that all of a sudden, you know, I mean, that we were gaining some traction. We were starting to bring some awareness to CRPS, and then boom, all of a sudden COVID hits, right? All of that is now gone. All of that traction is gone.
Right.
And it's beyond frustrating, because where we were, we were that much closer to finally maybe getting some funding and getting some research to start. And, you know, we were right on the cusp of that. And now nothing's going to happen, because our, you know, where I am here in Canada, what they have thrown into COVID has, I mean, my kids and my kids' kids are now going to be paying for, because I think our government is, I mean, we're not like the US, but we are certainly, I think we're now 390 billion, you know, in debt. And that will be something that we never recover, and so the money won't be there to do research into those rare diseases.
So, wow, you know, some of the stuff you just sit there and you go, well, what do you say? You know, I would like to, before we go, I'm not even going to do the regular commercial break, you guys, today because we had a late start, but because they have enough.
I'll take the blame on that one.
No. But I have, you can sit here while I do this product placement piece. I have to, or else they probably will cancel my support sponsorship. So I just want to say this to everybody, and I really do take it. I drink it every day. I did before, and that's how this came to be. But I want to thank my sponsor, V8. Today I'm drinking the original low sodium, which is 100% vegetable juice, 60 calories per can, and two servings of vegetables in every can. So all you have to do is pop the top, try it out. You won't be sorry. V8, get your vegetables today. Okay, we're back. So let me ask you about the people who, for instance, like your wife and your family and the people, some people go to work with this. Before COVID, they had to go to the job site and still deal with this pain and still deal with customer service and this and the other. How difficult is it for those people who must service, support, be there, and really their hands are tied? They must feel helpless most of the time because they cannot help take the pain away. How do they deal with it? And are there support groups for the people who live with people with this rare disease?
I think that's a loaded question. That's a hard one, and I think it's one of the reasons you see so many. There's an extremely high suicide rate with those of us that deal with CRPS. I'm not even going to try and guess at a number, but I had heard something around 60%. Who knows? I don't want to throw that out there as a solid number because I don't think they really know. But what happens is there's this extremely high suicide rate, and because they can't take the pain,
right?
They don't have the support groups,
the family members and things.
Right. I mean, the caregiver, there's nothing in place for the caregiver.
What about my wife?
Yeah, my wife was on her own. In large, has to walk through this whole thing herself. I'm actually in the works right now with somebody. We're going to be going live on Instagram, hopefully in the next couple of weeks here. And we'll be talking with the caregivers. We're both going to bring our caregivers on and give them some exposure, because the caregiver needs something in place to be able to talk, to be able to get those emotions out. But there are no support groups. And it's one of the things that we're finding through our research here is that we're finding these shortfalls and these deficiencies in these areas, and it's great that we're identifying them, and we're identifying that, in some cases, and this just speaks to my province, but in my province, they really didn't realize just how big an issue those lack of support groups was, right? So yeah, we need support groups. We need those things put in place.
So let's how much time we got? Okay, we got 6 minutes. So Ross, is this thing progressive? Because your hand looked like the one in the picture, but now it's inside of that compression glove.
Right.
And it looked like one of the fingers was out of alignment with the others, as if it's frozen there. I don't know if that's the case.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
So were you told that this is progressive? Do all the cases get worse? What do we know about that?
In some cases it can progress, and in mine it has. For myself, I mean, like I said, it was in my wrist to start after a surgery. Went down into my ankle, I've had it's in my back and neck now. I'm suspecting because I've had
it
multiple
spreading?
surgeries on my neck. Yeah, yeah.
From the original site, it can go other places.
Yes, yes. So, and there's not a lot known as to why it travels, how it travels. What they do know is that because I've had surgeries to those areas, they say that the surgeries that you have to those regions can bring that trauma, or that surgery can bring the condition itself on. And so that's what they probably assume has been my case, is that when they went into my neck and back to place the electrodes for my neurostimulators, it probably brought on the condition within those regions. So it can progress, but with some people it doesn't. The way that we are finding that we can stop that progression and we can almost reverse some of those symptoms is that if a person gets into physiotherapy they're finding within the first 6 months, they can reverse a lot of those symptoms. In my case, they caught me too late, and they caught me at a 2-year mark, and it was too late to try and reverse some of those symptoms.
Have they seen any of this in children? What is the age group that they see this starting to submerge?
They have seen it in kids. I think Charles Maddox, actually, in his documentary, I think he has kids that are as young as 8 years old, 8-9 years old. So imagine an 8-9-year-old who is dealing with this. I mean, I'm a full grown adult that
and it's still hard.
At the best of times, there are times that I'm rocking in the fetal position in the corner of my room because I'm in so much pain. I'm good right now. I'm able to come on with you and I look fine and everything looks hunky-dory, right? And everybody thinks, hey, he looks great. But people don't see
How bad could it be? Did you see the guy?
But people don't see those triggers and those things that come on with me, right? And that come on suddenly with me.
With
cold
no
temperature, with no schedule.
Right.
So imagine an 8-year-old or a that's dealing with that.
Right. So because we have just about 2 minutes left, how can we help? What would you recommend people do to be a part of the solution and not just blind to the problem?
Well, I think the first thing is that we need to speak up. We need to speak up. We can't be afraid to share our stories. I was part of a conference we need to share our stories and our experiences, and we need to document them on social media. We need do whatever you need to do to get your story out there to be heard, right? We need to be heard. We need people to recognize that this isn't a figment of our imagination. We need people to understand and believe us. The only way we're going to do that is to come in number and mass, right? But that would be the first piece of advice I would give a person.
I'm wondering if I think I'm going to try to get Dr. Blattman, Hal Blattman, who is in Cincinnati, Ohio. I think you remember when he was on the show, pain specialist. See if I can get him, Charles, you, and someone of your choice to come back on when you guys are ready and do a show on just pain in general, and then pinpoint some of the things that we've talked about here today, and bring light to some of the ones we didn't have time to get to today. I'd really like to do that with you. If that's something you're interested in, we can definitely make that happen. So
I would love to. Okay.
Will you do me a favor and go into the comment section as we get out of here, and leave any place that a person may be able to go to find out more information? You can always Google CRPS, stands for Complex Regional Pain Syndrome. And also you can reach out on Facebook to Ross McCreary and continue the dialogue, ask questions, Google them, get with me. I'll get the questions to them. Whatever you need, we will try to help you get there. So Ross, I want to thank you. Sorry about all the confusion. But
that's okay.
hey, we still got it.
Hey, sometimes it happens. Sometimes it happens.
Exactly. And we got it done. And I want to thank all of you out there again, as always. I say I wouldn't rather be anywhere in the world, except perhaps Fiji, than right here with you guys every single day. Do yourself a favor, do the world a favor. Google those 4 little letters, CRPS. The manner in which we learn and teach and share the world is really the way it will come back to us regarding those things that only happen in the dark that we know about. So don't wait until, something happens. If we stay in front of it, just like they tell us about toothaches, take this now, not when you're standing on your head. Stay in front of the pain. That means the pain seen and unseen, and the pain that others are living through. Don't make it just about Marsha. Let's see what we can do to help everyone we can. Ross, thank you so much. God bless you. And let me know how you feel about putting this thing together. I can get Charles. I can get him. I'll take care of him. You get that other person, and I'll get Dr. Blattman in here.
Done.
We'll do what we can to help give this thing a big megaphone through voice. Okay?
Yeah, no, sounds good.
Awesome. Listen, everybody out there. God willing, I'll meet you out front tomorrow morning again at 8 a.m. Central, when my guest will be a former New York Jets player, Safer Suggs, and his daughter, graduate of Duke University on the women's basketball team, and she's now the women's coach for a university in New York. They're going to be here today because their show, Faith, Family, and Focus, just crossed the 1-year line with the E360 TV network. So they're going to be here to talk about all the wonderful things that has happened in their world over the last year. They'll be here tomorrow morning. Get out there today and be the blessing you'd like to see. Be the gift you'd like to receive. And remember, all we each has to do to make this world a better place is in whatever situation, whatever person you encounter at any given point of your day. Make it a mantra. Make it your life's mission to leave something or someone just a little bit better than the way you found them. Think about that. Let it sit in and give it a try. CRPS needs to be talked about, and we're going to do more of that with you, Ross, and anyone else that's interested. I hope that's you. Get out there today and have a great day. Ross, thank you again. Thank you so much.
Thanks again.
And I really want to get this other thing going, okay? So just let me know when you're ready to pull the trigger.
Yeah. No, sounds good.
Okay. All right, you guys, get out there. Be good to yourselves and even better to others. Bye-bye.